From the News Talk 1340 KROC-AM and 96.9 FM newsroom, here's Andy Brownell.
Good afternoon. 16 in downtown Rochester at 5:03. Some nasty travel conditions are possible across southeastern Minnesota tomorrow. The National Weather Service has issued a winter weather advisory from midnight tonight through 6 p.m. tomorrow. The forecast calls for snow and sleet to develop late tonight and mix with freezing rain by early tomorrow morning. Periods of snow and freezing rain are expected through much of the day tomorrow, which could cause some very slippery driving conditions to develop. A 19-year-old Austin man today entered guilty pleas to second-degree murder and first-degree attempted murder charges for a deadly drive-by shooting in Austin in June of last year. Janup Chop and two other people were charged in connection with the shooting, which was initially reported as a traffic crash after the car carrying the victims collided with a vacant home. The victim, 25-year-old Gamdel Gio, was pronounced dead at the scene, while the two other occupants of the vehicle were brought to St. Mary's Hospital with non-life-threatening gunshot wounds. Under the terms of his plea agreement, Chop faces a sentence of 37 and a half years in prison. A Fillmore County judge has dismissed a total of 4 counts of criminal vehicular homicide and criminal vehicular operation against 36-year-old Samantha Peterson, who was the woman accused of driving while impaired and killing 2 young children in a collision involving an Amish buggy near Stewartville last year. The charges that were dismissed involved impairment from marijuana use. Peterson still faces 6 other counts of criminal vehicular homicide and operation alleging impairment by methamphetamine. A 24-year-old Rochester man was arrested early today following a hit-and-run crash that involved a parked vehicle in downtown Rochester. Rochester police say the incident was reported around 12:40 a.m. near the intersection of 4th Street and 5th Avenue Southwest. A spokesperson says Jordan Valiz Hamas was arrested on suspicion of DWI and leaving the scene of an accident after he was found driving a heavily damaged vehicle several blocks away from the crash site. No injuries were reported. Police in a Twin Cities suburb are investigating a fatal incident in a shopping mall parking lot. The St. Louis Park Police Department is reporting that a woman was struck and killed by a vehicle outside the Knollwood Mall around 1:30 this afternoon. Her name has not been released. Officials say the driver is cooperating with investigators. A 15-year-old Rochester girl was brought to St. Mary's Hospital following a 2-vehicle collision yesterday afternoon in Rochester. The State Patrol says the teenager was in a minivan that was turning left from eastbound Highway 14 onto the entrance ramp to northbound Highway 52 when it collided with a pickup that was traveling west on Highway 14. This was around 3:30 p.m. The girl, whose name has not been released, suffered non-life-threatening injuries. The Silver Lake Pool Replacement Project officially got underway this week with the demolition of the 65-year-old swimming pool. It will be replaced by a new pool, a splash pad, and a bathhouse in a project that has an overall price tag of nearly $10 million. The new recreational facility in northeast Rochester is expected to be ready by the summer of 2026. The University of Minnesota men's hockey team hosts Michigan State this weekend at Mariucci Arena. Tonight's contest, at least the pregame show, gets underway at 7 o'clock right here at News Talk 1340, KROC-AM, and 96.9 FM. The official weather eye forecast. Overnight, that slippery mix of precipitation could develop sometime after midnight. We're expecting a low in the low teens. We could have snow, freezing rain, and sleet tomorrow, a high of 32, maybe a dusting of snow and a glazing of ice. Tomorrow night, the snow should end in the evening. We're expecting partly cloudy skies to develop, a low of 30 degrees. Mainly cloudy Sunday, but mild with a high near 40. 32 the low Sunday night. Monday, slight chance of snow developing later in the day with a high in the upper 30s. Tuesday, cloudy with a high in the upper 20s. And still cloudy on Wednesday with a high in the low 20s before we warm into the upper 20s again on Thursday next week. Right now in downtown Rochester, it's